Hey there, a very good morning. It's Isma as usual, back from FX Kampala. In our video today, we're going to be looking at liquidity, which is something that literally starting Forex or been trading should basically be knowing if probably you are to trade the Forex market. If you haven't subscribed, please do such that you do not miss out on such content that we release on our different social media platforms of ours. That is YouTube, Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, and everywhere. Just search FX Kampala. You'll be getting such information, such content. One of the most popular trading philosophies out there is ICT. Of course, if you're to trade ICT, you definitely have to be knowing what liquidity is. In layman's terminology, or in a layman's understanding, or in briefly simple English, liquidity means the ease with which a particular asset class has to be changed into cash. So if you have any assets, if you have any instrument that you can easily turn into cash, definitely then we can refer it to as liquidity or highly liquid or a liquid asset. Now, when it comes to trading, by liquidity, we're literally looking at different buy orders and sell orders. Especially if you were to look at ICT, ICT briefly explains liquidity as basically a point where we experience or we to have quite a number of particular orders. This can be buy orders and sell orders. In a way, if you're to trade, then you definitely need to know where the liquidity levels are. This is when we now talk about the different types of liquidity. By different types of liquidity, we're looking at the buy side liquidity, sell side liquidity, and then we also talk about the market structure shift. And in this video, I'll be definitely describing or have a point where I will now have to explain each and everything in detail, and definitely for you to understand what each one of these mean. So far at this very point, we know what liquidity means in the aspect of the layman's English understanding, and then in the aspect of ICT, definitely those that are probably going to trade the Forex market. So it's very important if you're to probably start analyzing the markets, if you critically pay attention to basically identifying liquidity levels in the market. And by so, these liquidity levels will now mean we need now to concentrate on the buy side liquidity. We need to know what is sell side liquidity, and then we need to know what is market structure shift. So on my platform here, I'm going to happen to describe to you what buy side liquidity, what sell side liquidity, and forth and probably market structure shift, and forth and on. So in our example here, we're going to be looking at this. If you probably can see it, we have this upper level, which we can consider as the buy side liquidity, a point in the market where we definitely experiencing different orders being executed. These different orders can be buy stops, rather they can be stop orders or buy or sell orders. Probably the moment they are executed, then we definitely consider liquidity exists in that particular point. By so, when you look up here, you realize that I've called this, or we call this point, the buy side liquidity. Buy side liquidity would definitely mean that it's at the point whereby we're going to experience, of course, sellers, okay, having short positions here and whose stop losses are hit, because of course, usually this is by definitely the smart money. So definitely they are going to hunt your stops such that they make sure that you are liquidated. So hence, considering this point or taking it as the buy side liquidity. The same happens to sell side liquidity. So with sell side liquidity, for this example, the market can lie to you that it's definitely going up, and by so it liquidates or it hits your stop losses, especially these people that were probably looking up selling here because they expected the market to come down, as for the fact that history repeats itself. So if you just suddenly just get it with you, not of course with detailed intellect understanding of what they mean by history repeating itself, that's not alone enough as a statement. Now you have to get deep into this to understand what this statement means. And by so, if you happen just come directly onto the chart and you apply this, then this is when you're going to be surfaced, or this is when you're to experience such a situation in the time of trading. So what I mean is that if you come here, the smart man, of course, will hit your stop losses. So for them, they are targeting at those levels where mostly sellers are putting their stop losses. And by so, they liquidate you at this particular point. So that's not enough. However, it's also very important to not only just consider, oh, wait, or look forward for the smart money guys to close these positions. That's not enough. We also need to, because we need to pay attention so much, because this is where liquidity gets to lie. Now, when it comes to the sell side liquidity, the same happens. This is whereby buy traders stop losses are hit. Now, once they hit, this level happens to be called the sell side liquidity. So with that, we can now understand the different types of liquidity that we have. The last that we have is called the market structure shift. Market structure shift happens at the point whereby if the market happens to be moving in an uptrend, but generally decides to consolidate, to change the direction now to a new trend, then this point, at that point whereby now it breaks that point, okay, where it breaks actually, or it decides to change now to a downtrend. That is, if previously it was an uptrend, then it decides to come to a downtrend, then we can consider this point and take it now as a market structure shift. By so, these areas are going to help us now understand when to buy, when to sell. So liquidity is quite very important if you happen to understand it. Reason being that you can execute your sell orders, you can execute your buy orders depending on these levels. So with this example, if I happen to now decide to come on my trading view. So in my trading view, I'll know that you see this market here. Yes, we have here definitely a buy side liquidity at this particular point. And of course, buy orders, people that we are selling here, their stop losses are being hit, not because of anything, they are hit because of the smart money guys. So the smart money. So by so, me, I will not rush in to probably start selling, not until I happen to see such a move. So if I happen to see such a move, which has been brought up by the smart money, then I'll definitely now can start selling. Now the same happens here. If market comes down, it will now first, go down, hit the stop losses for those people that are probably looking forward buying, and then close their stop losses, and then eventually comes to their favor, which we now consider as the sell side liquidity. So knowing where liquidity lies, the liquidity levels, and not only where liquidity lies, knowing the different categories, the different types of liquidity is very crucial, is very important when you are trading not only with SMC, but also in our retail way of trading. So this is very crucial, knowing where liquidity lies, by so you can have a very effective decision to take if you definitely now know what liquidity is. So the main reason as to why I actually created this video is strictly to show you what liquidity is, how we can identify liquidity, the different types of liquidity, and what causes liquidity, which is, of course, the ICT. Now, with the interest of time, I'll allow me stop from here, and we shall be, of course, bringing in so many things that you definitely need to learn. You as a trader, new things that people don't consider a priority, yet there are things that are priority when we are trading. So we'll be unleashing, we'll be presenting such information, such things, such that you do understand them. With the interest of time, allow me stop from here. I do love you. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.